Okay, so hey everybody, welcome back to the Adroit's TT Esports Dota 2 Weekly. This is our first week of this tournament, and welcome to our best of three grand final between Out of Tangos and Infernity.International. So, both teams coming from opposite sides of the bracket, and now finally meeting in the final. They couldn't have met anywhere else, obviously. As always, I am Baseskip bringing you guys this game. Starting to get a little bit late for me, but hopefully going to be as exciting as some of the games we've had tonight. Just having a quick check-in on my overlays and whatnot. Looks like it's all fine, so we're going to be getting underway with the game. And Out of Tango is going to start us off with a very familiar pair of bans. We've seen the Lone Druid and the Wisp in every single game that they've played in, well, at least every game that I've watched that they've played in so far this tournament. A reminder that you guys should all be supporting the tournament as well. So that's Adroit's tweets on Twitter. That's Adroit's TV on YouTube. It's obviously Adroit's TV here on Twitch as well. So everywhere you see that, you can even check the main webpage, and there's probably a few more links there for you to check out. So Bat and Nyx are going to be the ban out by Infernity. Magnus remains in the pool along with the Rubik, though so does the Coddle. We haven't seen any Coddle PL just yet, and we haven't seen OOT have to deal with it. So Keeper of Light's actually going to be picked up here by Infernity, preventing the Coddle PL being played against them, and also giving them giving themselves that avenue. Though this may leave the Magnus through. We'll have to see. If they choose up the if they pick Magnus now, then Out of Tangos will probably take Rubik. If they choose PL now, Out of Tangos might have something up their sleeve. And they're actually going to choose Undying, so it looks like it might be an offensive trial lane for them. Looking a little bit stun light as far as supports go, but Undying doesn't necessarily have to be run as a support. He can be the primary farmer in an offensive tri lane. We don't see it all that much. It is something that Empire have been known to do, and we'll see if that's going to be the option for Infernity in this game. Again, this is the first time that I've watched these Infernity guys, so hopefully won't screw up too much. Shadow Demon's going to be picked up here by Out of Tangos. Magnus remains in the pool, but it's actually going to be Phantom Lancer. So offensive tri lane, it's going to be the name of the game for Infernity right now. Shadow Demon's a nice pickup, and obviously Shadow Demon can be a bit of a counter pick to the PL, but we'll see how this all works out for Out of Tangos. They've got an okay defensive tri-lane, but it's a very defensive tri-lane, as it were, between the Shadow Demon and the Phantom Lancer, and we might see that theme continue perhaps with their remaining support. We'll have to see. Might have to be something like the Jakiro, depending on what makes it through the pool. And Magnus is going to be picked up here by Infernity, so nice for them that they managed to get that through the pool, and that's probably going to be their mid in this game. It could be their solo safe lane as well. Really looking forward to see them run an offensive tri-lane with the Keeper of the Light and the Undying. They could choose not to if they're a little bit afraid of the execution, but we'll see how this all works out. And Out of Tango is a nice decision from them, knowing that Infernity are probably going to be looking to run an offensive tri-lane, and because of that situation, they are looking for a solo safe lane, and the Clinks obviously works out quite well in that regard. So Gyrocopter going to ban out. Infernity actually choosing to ban some mids right now, so trying to secure themselves an easy time for their Magnus. Darkseer could be on mid for Out of Tangos right now, and Darkseer versus Magnus is a matchup that's fairly good for both of them. Again, it's very similar to the Magnus versus Brewmaster, which I touched on earlier in the evening. There's kill potential either way. They've both got good lane control. A lot of it comes down to that support interaction, and Infernity actually looking to keep the supports locked down in that bottom lane with their potential offensive tri-lane. So Out of Tangos, not sure what the last selection needs to be. It would be fantastic for them to have the Nyx, but it's obviously being banned out. And TA going to be another mid ban there by Infernity. So either trying to force the Darkseer towards mid and then force a weaker solo up towards top to match up against whoever they're going to grab. Or perhaps just trying to find a weak mid for Out of Tangos to be playing. So the big mids have already been banned out right now between the Puck, the Quap, and the TA. So Out of Tangos, what's it going to be? Looking for a support, looking for perhaps a mid. It's going to be a solo regardless, aside from that support. They could still opt for the Rubik. It does remain in the pool, and as always, a nice choice to have against the Magnus. At least it leaves their supports pretty defensive. Rubik plus Shadow Demon doesn't really have a whole bunch of ganking potential, since they've got a lot of disable, but not a whole lot of damage. So Rubik's actually going to be taken here. So Out of Tangos I guess the big thing is that they're not really going to be able to do that much ganking, since they're probably going to be locked down by an offensive tri-lane, and the theme continues. Naga Siren's going to be picked up here by Infernity. And Naga Siren is an offensive tri-lane carry if there ever was one. She doesn't necessarily scale all that well into the late game. She's basically got 3 early game abilities between the Song of the Siren, the Net, and the Riptide. She's great in offensive tri-lane. She's great with the Keeper of the Light. The Ensnare is fantastic, set up for the Illuminate. And this is a tri-lane with a lot of kill potential for Infernity. The one downside is that they are running duo melee in a tri-lane versus tri-lane scenario. And they're a little bit stun light. Getting that tombstone rolling and getting a couple of zombies slowing someone down is going to be pivotal to their kill potential. I will probably have to see some points up, or a couple of points invested early on in the Ensnare just to make sure that they can find those kills, though it does scale quite well, with a 2-second disable for the first point, and then a point for each subsequent level. And Night Stalker's actually going to be taken here by out of Tangos, so it looks like Darkseid's going to be on the offlane. Night Stalker going to be heading towards mid, and I like the choice because there isn't really that much potential for Night Stalker to be ganked from the Keeper of the Light and the Undying. So 6 heroes are going to be locked up in that bottom lane, at least for a while. Infernity right now are looking for their solo safe lane. Someone who can try and deal with the Darkseer. Clinks has already been banned out, so has Lone Druid. I'd like to say Viper, but he's not someone that we see picked all that often in a competitive setting. He is a fantastic 1v1 hero though, and can actually win in a 1v1 scenario on a flat lane against a Darkseer. So we'll see what the choice is going to be. Could be someone like a Mirana. Again, there's not all that many solo safe laners. They could go for someone like an anti-mage, in fact, and then try and pool him some regen, since the Undying is fairly item independent early on. But Infernity, they're actually going to opt for the Necrolite, and I like this pickup. Something that I haven't seen nearly enough in competitive Dota. We're going to see it this game, however, so we'll get into the game. We'll run over who's playing what. Hopefully I won't mangle the names on too many of the players, and then we'll be getting underway with our grand final. This is game 1 of a best of 3 set for the Adroits TT Esports Dota 2 Weekly. This is our very first weekly tournament. We've got another 3 coming up in February every Sunday, so stay tuned for those, and yeah, going to be getting underway with the game in just a second. So getting into the game, I'll finally remember to switch over those overlays. Over on the side of IN, we're going to have Follow Rio, or Rio, playing the Necrolite. K is going to be on the Naga Siren. Matori going to be on that Keeper of the Light. Kasan's NS is going to be on the Magnus, and Setica is going to be on the Undying. On the side of out of Tangos, we're going to have Steph Style playing the Shadow Demon. We've got Frigolite playing the Rubik. Ciso, need pronunciation help on that one, is going to be playing the Night Stalker. We've got Maglev Gangstrain playing the Phantom Lancer, and we've got Floxplox playing the Darkseer one more time. This has been the hero that he's been pretty much relegated to this tournament, but he has been playing it quite well. He's going to be soloing up against the Necrolite. I think Necrolite is going to have trouble, frankly, in this setup, but I do like the pickup. Does sort of fit into the style that IN are going for right now. It was a great combo with the Undying. Out of Tangos don't really have all that many abilities that punish clustering up as well. That's the one big downside with the Necrolite frequently, is that the style of play that he encourages is all 4 of his teammates grouping up around him, and he's healing everyone, and then also trying to get the opposing heroes to sit right on top of him as well. So he's the focal point of the team fight. The problem with having your teammates all clustered up around you in a nice tight little circle, the range of the Death Pulse, which is actually pretty low, 475, is that there are just so many AoE abilities in most games, in most Dota games, that will punish you for clustering in that way. But in this game, Necrolite's actually a pretty good pickup. Out of Tangos, a little bit light as far as the AoE goes. I mean, the potential for a stolen reverse polarity is there, but not really all that many AoE stuns. There's a vacuum, but that's just going to bring everybody closer anyway, so it's not necessarily all that bad. And as far as overall game strategy goes, right now it's up to IN to put the pressure on early, try and win all 3 of their lanes, take maybe all of the outer towers before 20 minutes, I want to say, and just continually put the pressure on the Phantom Lancer, so he can't really ever get rolling. That's really going to be the story of this game, if it's going to be a win for IN. The onus is on them to make things happen, and there's a lot of weight on these solos right now that they do have as well to try and make things. We'll try and make things happen as well. And make things happen is apparently the theme of this game, but. Night Stalker, we'll see how things go for him. Again, people do say that Night Stalker is sort of determined by the first night. Maybe not necessarily in this game. He's got pretty good options as far as ganking the Necrolite and ganking, well, even just trying to set up a gank on the Magnus. And if he can have a good time, well, if he can get off to a good start, then ganking the underleveled heroes on the offensive tri-lane from IN should be fairly easy as well. Okay, so some compliments to this, I think, this tournament, unless people are talking about some sort of different tour. No, okay, it's this. So this is, yeah, the TT eSports Dota 2 Weekly, better than the International. It's a bit of a marathon for both the players and from the casters as well, but it's good fun, and we've had some fantastic Dota so far. And right, the prize for this tournament, which I don't think I've mentioned actually, is 5 Thermal Take mouse pads. I think that's Thermal Take Fierce is the name of that one. But yeah, that's the prize winning team going to walk away with those ones. So big thanks to Thermal Take, or TT Esports, which is their esports division, putting up those prizes. Okay, let's talk about, well, I'll take an opportunity maybe to talk about wards and things like that in this tri-lane versus tri-lane scenario. So do IN actually have any sentries? They do. Okay, so this is good. It means that they can deny vision of the Keeper of the Light, which is a big deal because they really want to connect those Illuminates. They want to keep out of Tangos all the way back behind the tower, and then to keep the Illuminates rolling in. Once the wave sort of ping-pongs away, find that ensnare, find another Illuminate in over the top, and then hopefully find the kill. We do have the Night Stalker now reconnecting. So I'll keep a close eye on how this ward battle plays out down on bot. Out of Tangos are going to try and keep this camp unwarded. They won't be too concerned about this one, since running a double pull just invites the opposing tri-lane to come and intercept and steal all the XP. Interesting to note that Naga Siren does actually have 2 rings of protection to start the game off, so looking to get some Tranquil Boots and a Bassi. And the Bassi should be the first pickup in this tri-lane versus tri-lane situation, since they need the mana regen. The first Illuminate of the game is going to clip Mag, and it's also going to clip Frigolite, so nice one there. But Keeper of Light only really has 2 Illuminates before the very first, before he gets that Chakra Magic up, so already investing one of those. Once they get that Bassi up as well, it should help out a little bit. And the ward selections right now for IN are going to be a ward straight in the camp, and a ward over here to check out the rune. So, liking the choices. This one should be fairly straightforward to de-ward. We saw some pings go out from the Radiant side over in this region. There is a blocking ward in here, which is a little bit difficult to de-ward unless you chop down this tree. So we'll see if OOT go for that. Placing down 1 sentry should be enough for them to spot at this one, and they could even just place down this sentry, which is a pretty good one as far as de-warding the camp. So yeah, that's going to be the choice. This is actually a really good one. It spots out a lot of these wards. It spots out Magic Bush. It just doesn't spot out any of this region, which is also part of this camp's hitbox, or its spawn box. Sorry. So our mid matchup is going to be a Night Stalker against a Magnus. Got to give the edge to the Magnus. Frankly, he's got better spam. He's got better lane control. He should have better rune control, and supports should be fairly occupied down on bot. So rune control is going to be the job of the mids alone in this game, as opposed to defensive tri-lanes on either side, when the supports can look to exert some control over those runes. Again, the one downside for IN in this offensive tri-lane is they're running dual melee, so the harassment can be fairly heavy from OOT, and Frigolite lucks out. He finds himself an Alpha Wolf camp. And an Alpha Wolf camp is great because it's a single camp that, if it gets lucky, can actually completely wipe out a creep wave, so you don't need to necessarily double pull or anything like that, though it looks like Frigolite might be going for this one. Regardless, he goes up. He's actually a little bit too late, I suspect, so he's just going to come and head back down. They might be able to get these denies off. He pulls through, but just cops and Illuminate, so maybe a little bit of bad communication there. Steph was actually just right-clicking the wolves while Frigolite tangoed through to try and go for the second pull, and he's actually going to opt to tango through a nice little juke spot as well. Single tree gives them another path there, so nicely played. Still some more ping spam going out, and now we've got some wards popping down for the Radiant side. So they've already got rid of the ward blocking their camp, so that's nice. And now they've got a ward thrown down to try and keep an eye on that pesky Keeper of Light when the wave pushes in, and he's going to be trying to illuminate from this region. So already played pretty well played so far. Our 2-minute rune is an invis, and looks like Kosan's going to make his way up towards top. Flox has actually been cutting the wave right now. He's pretty low, and Kosan's is coming up. They know where the rune was, but they don't know what it was, and this is an invis Magnus with a skewer up, but Surge away, juking across, and looks like Courier won't be able to get in range. He's actually going to spot the Courier! Oh, he's going to be able to get it. One punch, one kill. Flox, nicely played. And now he's going to run himself away. No, he's actually going aggressive onto Kaz. If he found himself a nice skewer, he could actually trap Flox up on the high ground, but that's going to be about it. Quick check-in down on bot. Mag not finding all that much farm, but actually keeping the pace with K right now. And again, there's not a lot of harassment coming his way with only the one ranged hero in this tri-lane versus, well, in this dire tri-lane. That's a bit of a downside for them, as I did mention. We've got a ward down, keeping an eye again on that pesky Keeper of the Light, and actually some successful pulls being run right now by OOT. They're already up to level 3 on the Shadow Demon, and level 2 on the Rubik. So doing pretty well there. It's just level 2 on everyone in this offensive tri-lane, and they're not looking to split up XP at all. They've got their Bazzi up, so that's nice in terms of exerting a little bit of control over the wave. And it means that when supports pull, they can put the Bazzi on, they can get creeps underneath the tower. Now they're going for the Illuminate. The Tombstone's going to drop as well. Magla may be in trouble. He is going to be copped by that Illuminate. Bazzi should be on right now for K to try and buy a set enough time with the creeps to get out. He's going to be lifted back. And is there still a disruption and a soul catcher available? There is. They're just going for the right clicks, and the first blood going to be drawn by Frigolite. And Mag deciding he's not done, comes in, gets the Spirit Lance. K now in trouble. Looks like it's going to be a double kill for the Rubik. One more swing. Too much armor on K, but a Spirit Lance enough in the end to find that kill. So that's really disastrous for IN down on bottom lane. Giving away 2 kills. Level 4 up on the Rubik, level 4 up on the Shadow Demon, and level 4 up on the Phantom Lancer. Unfortunately, the Necrolite is not necessarily a hero that can come and make a lane swap for the offlane, so they're locked into this one, and hopefully they'll be able to turn it around, but they're all down at level 2 up against level 4s right now. There was a sentry ward thrown down, so they were able to get rid of that Obd, spotting out the Coddle's movements, but with the level discrepancy right now, it's looking pretty good for OOT. That's not actually able to get control of the 4-minute rune, so comes down and picks himself up an illusion, and actually leading heavily on mid lane as far as the farm goes. Mag wasting a lot of time heading up towards top, trying to find that gank on Flox. And Flox still just happily farming away. Rio trying to do the best that he can to keep him out of the lane, and no point up in the Heartstopper aura, in fact. This isn't intel that I've gotten, this is talking to and hearing from players who actually run Necrolite in scrims and things like that. And my understanding is that you're actually supposed to get, in a solo versus solo situation, maybe not against the Darkseer, but you're supposed to get a point in the Heartstopper aura fairly early on, just to keep your opponent low enough that you might have some kill potential coming up towards level 6. But anyway, it's a minor point, and Necrolite's still doing a pretty good job up on this top lane in terms of finding his farm. The Flox just a little bit further ahead, and part of that is that he can't really miss the last hit by blocking the creep wave and then going for the Ion Shell. So that's about it. Dire's Courier is now going to respawn. And that might have been part of the problem for Magnus on mid. Maybe he didn't have a bottle and couldn't maintain the spam. Heading into this first night down on bot, we've got some action happening. Frigolite in trouble. Nice defensive disruption, going to keep him alive for a while. Doesn't actually have the Riptide up in the decay. Finds a nice kill. Ion now turning this bottom lane around just a little bit, and doing a good job getting the PL sort of pinned back by the creep wave. Though he did actually have some creeps coming in, so just opting not really to contribute. And K still looking for this one, but he's going to be turned around, and the Illuminate flies through as well. Mag wants this kill, doesn't have enough for the Doppelwalk to try and escape, but actually finds a kill and just runs himself away. Did actually have enough mana for the Doppelwalk. It's just broken cosmetic items confusing me there. Some cosmetic items aren't properly textured with invis and things like that, so it looks, they just show their full color. The same thing will happen with his illusions, so if anyone gets confused, don't. They are actually illusions. We've got a gank happening up on top. Nightstalker makes his way up there, and an easy kill found on the Necrolite. So sorry about missing that one, guys. I guess thinking too much about cosmetic items. On mid, Magnus now up to level 6, but tier 1 tower should be a fairly easy for OOT up on top, and an Invis rune up on the Night Stalker as well. So finding a good start to this first night. Fortification is going to pop off as well to try and buy a little bit of time. Necrolite does now respawn. And actually Phase Boots up on this Necrolite along with Bazzi. So he's got pretty good damage as far as the last hitting goes, but not a whole lot of survivability. And Treads could have been an option for him as well. Synergizes quite nicely as well with the Sadist, which is flat regen. So it means that if you get a big kill or something like that, you can switch over to Agi Treads, regen yourself up, and then switch over to Strength or Int, depending on what you're doing. And Int Treads are nice because you can switch to Int Treads, you can heal. It means that in effect, the heal costs less mana. And I'll hold that thought because an Invis Night Stalker is right on top of our friendly neighborhood Necrolite, and he's going to drop in just a few right clicks. Floxbox actually finding that last hit there, down on bot. Mag not actually in trouble. And Rubik has made his way towards mid while Night Stalker is away. Rubik will be able to get some levels. And again, I really like the map movements from OOT right now. Not wasting any XP whatsoever. And Night Stalker not done just yet. Steph walks around to the side. There's no points up in Mana Leak or anything like that. And K just a little bit too far away to find the net. Looks like he threatened it there. The Eliminate going to fly through as well. And oh, Magnus being chased down by NS, and he's going to be intercepted by the Shadow Demon. Nice skewer down onto the low ground, but that's going to be the end of his gank hopes for the bottom lane. Though the same story for the Night Stalker, so a little bit of an anti-climax from both teams. Floxbox continues to put the pressure on the top lane, and Rio probably just going to be making his way towards a mech right now. Night Stalker not done, makes his way down towards bot, and have to say, warding, oh, that's going to be rectified in just a second, but you need wards during this first night against the Night Stalker, because otherwise he's going to run rampant. We've got another lane ward going down right now for out of Tangos, so spotting any movement in via the tower, which is nice, and we'll see if they get another angle covered over here. They will. So they're setting up some nice safe farm space for the Phantom Lancer. There can't really be any surprises for him. We've got Ian now wrapping around. He's just going to eat a Riptide. That's going to be the extent of that, and actually some Phase Boots picked up on the PL this game. A little bit of an interesting choice, especially given that they don't contribute, well, plus damage doesn't contribute to the illusions in the slightest. So I guess just realizing that the only thing that can keep him locked down is the ensnare. And after that, he can just run away using the bonus boost. And the Phase Boost will go lift up into the air for Elite, in trouble. The nuke flies through as well, but K's going to drop at the same time. Mag comes in from the side and now just doppel walking his way out. Going to pick up another last hit at the same time. The Tombstone is down, but not doing all that much right now. 1 for 1. The exchange. Rio in trouble up on top. The vacuum back. Flox and Night Stalker find themselves another nice easy kill. Flox almost has his completed mech. And down on bot, Phantom Lancer going to work, finds himself a dominating streak, kills off the Keeper of the Light. Mag not done just yet, but he doesn't actually have a nuke. Yes, he does. There we go. Looks like the illusion actually blocking him away from that kill. So Mag will decide to back off in the end, and Sedika just barely survives with his life there. Up on top, we've got a regen rune going the way of Flox. So a little bit of nice luck for him. And oh, Magnus in trouble on mid. He's only got 3 points up in the skewer, now silenced as well. They need the Iron Shell damage, but the silence is just such a long duration. Vacuum just to cancel off the attempted skewer and to get Rio down onto the low ground. Easy kill picked up by OOT, and now an 8-kill lead for them. 7.5k XP lead and and pretty much dead on 7.5k gold. So every lane really working out fantastically for them. Necrolite's died so many times that he's not really going to be all that relevant, unfortunately. It looks like I freaked out the camera a little bit there by double-clicking on him. But, I mean, he doesn't have an early mech, and Necrolite is a hero that needs to get on top of his opponents and then just stay there. As soon as he starts to fall behind, the big problem is that burst damage starts to catch up with him. Never mind the point about having to group up around him and being able to punish that with AoE damage and AoE stuns. The other big problem is that 100% Necrolite is reliant on... And sorry about that. We've got a skewer coming in. I can't get this thought off. The reverse polarity threatened Was that actually used? No, not on cooldown, cancel, but the Darkseer wall goes down as well, and 2 heroes almost dead. We get 1 reverse polarity out. Frigolite not able to steal that before the Magnus dies, and finally the Reaper Scythe will claim 1K comes in. The ultimate pops off from Setika as well. Frigolite trying to make his escape. No zombies on him, but he's already pretty slow, and Night Stalker heads down into the pit. The Song of the Siren pops in over the top, but Night Stalker, it's still Night, and he's looking for blood. In comes Steph from the rear as well. Frigolite a little bit low, but still has those pulses keeping him alive. Steph in trouble now, will be right-clicked down by the Keeper of Light, and Setika now in trouble. Mag has joined the fight. Mega kill streak for him. K trying to make his retreat, but Night Stalker, having none of that, has the Void up in just a second. It looks like it's just going to be straight right-clicks. Trying to give that one perhaps to Mag, but Rubik's actually going to take it in the end, and Mag, he's not done just yet. Looks like he wants this tier 1 tower on mid as well. Fortification is available, however, so it looks like he's going to get a little bit blocked on that one, and Keeper of Light should be able to find the deny. Yes, so Mag not factoring that one in, getting a little bit greedy. Oh, Frigolite deciding he's not done just yet, but the Illuminate going to do some big damage and still has enough mana to get off one more. Oh, not enough mana for one more pulse. Actually dies from the nuke. Nice skewer back from Kaz, and now Night Stalker in trouble, trying to make his escape, but one more shockwave finds go Kosans, Kazans, something like that. Finds him a double kill. So nicely played there by the Magnus, and gets Ion back on the board. Only an 8 kill discrepancy. Right now we've got a mech finished up on the Darkseer for Mag. It's just some fairly early game effective items for him, and it's a very gyrocopter-esque build, if I do say so, with the phase boots and the drum. But phase drum, good on every hero. It's, if you don't know what to build, just go phase drum, and you can't really do wrong. K is going to make his way up towards top lane, so it looks like the tri-lane has dispersed to the wind, so these wards not actually helping them out all that much. Flock's up to level 12, he's doing ridiculously well. And I'm just going to switch over to net worth, not sure why I was still on last hits denies there, so does really show you that every single lane worked out really well, really well for OOT, and Night Stalker almost double the net worth of the closest Dire hero right now, and he's only the 3rd pest farmer on the map. So right now, as far as things go for IN, unfortunately, their strategy, it's not necessarily cheesy, but it's very focused, and it's very focused on winning that offensive tri-lane, keeping the PL shut down, grouping up with their Necrolite, and then going for tower after tower after tower. It's 14 minutes in, they're yet to claim a tower, and I said 20 minutes, try and claim all of the outer towers. They haven't really been able to get that rolling, and since the dominoes are already sort of tilting towards OOT's side right now, it's difficult for IN's heroes to try and muster that push back up to the other direction. The reverse polarity can be a big ability to do it and try and find a big 5-0 wipe that way. We've actually got an invis up on the Magnus at the same time, so looking for perhaps a 3-man on mid. Night Stalker making his way towards an armlet right now, as well, with the Helm of Iron Will, as opposed to a BKB, which is a little bit interesting. The BKB could harm him as much as it helps him as well, because he'll be magic immune during the Naga Siren ultimate, which means that he won't actually be slept, which means that he can be ensnared and then just focus down. But he is fairly tanky and doing a really good job during that first night. Makes his way up to a level 12 before that first night ends, which means that he has the 2nd point up in darkness already, which is a huge plus for him. OG just pushing in a little bit on mid right now. It's defensive positions right now for IN. And we'll see if they're going to be able to turn around a big defensive team fight. It's what they really do need to look for. They do have 4 points up in the Tombstone, so that's got the potential to wreak some havoc. And they've got a window of opportunity now as well, that the Night Stalker is fairly weak during the day, but the rank 2 darkness is always that ace in the hole, that additional threat. It would be nice if they could force out a darkness and then actually back off, wait it out, because Night Stalker doesn't actually want to necessarily use darkness during the daytime because it pushes back the next night, and he really wants to get to that natural night. We're going to have an ensnare go out on Frigolite up on top. He's going to try and TP his way out. Skewer not act. Well, Skewer actually will cancel that, so Frigolite will drop. I was thinking of magic immunity. It doesn't. Skewer doesn't drag magic immune targets anymore, was the point that I was trying to make, but it does still cancel TPs, so Frigolite will drop in the end. Rio's still just farming up, almost has his mech finished. Just the TP scroll flying out there, so still needs to farm another 700 gold. And back to the thought about Night Stalker not wanting to use Darkness. If he can find 1 or 2 kills, yeah, fantastic. Use Darkness, it's great. If he uses Darkness and doesn't find anything, then that's trouble, because he's pushing away the next Natural Knight, which is his next ticket to be overpowered. So, if IN can, maybe go for something aggressive and then still find the disengage using something like Song of the Siren, then they can use Darkness, give themselves more daytime without the threat of a Night Stalker having Darkness. And that's a big deal because it's effectively, well, 4.5 versus 5 or something like that. However you want to use the numbers. We're going to have a Soul Catcher down on Cause. On mid is actually going to bring those illusions back with him. The Purge actually connected at the same time, so Frigolit's not done just yet and actually managed to grab the Skewer. Rubik with the zip for the telekinesis back as well. Maglev doing a good job of forcing everyone back. Finds a kill on the Keeper of the Light. Frigolit not done. And Night Stalker, it's not even night, but he's hasted and looking for this kill using the Void. Cause, does he have Skewer up in just a second? He does not. And one more kill going to be found with the Night Stalker. The fight is not over, however. We do have Plox and Mag back behind the tier 2 right now. 2 on the mat for IN. And the Necrolite, always a gamble, not really paying off in this game, especially when he's soloing against the Darkseer. It's an exceptionally difficult lane for him. So 5 heroes on mid right now for OOT. Pretty confident with the lead that they have. It's about 9 kills. It's about 12k XP, and it's about 12k gold as well. So OOT doing a really good job this game. Illuminate can slow things down a little bit, but Necrolite and Naga Siren are not late game carries. They don't have something like a Faceless Void to just sit back and farm on and use that to try and get the game late. And even if they did, there's a PL on the enemy team who's just going to become more and more pesky as the game goes on. So, right idea from IN. If there's a PL on the enemy team and they don't have Keeper of the Light, offensively tri-lane. If you can win that offensive tri-lane, you can win the game. It's not impossible to shut down a PL, but if it gets flipped around on you the other way, then it's so difficult to recover. And like we saw, the first blood and the second kill went the way of OOT, and that was pretty much the end of the offensive tri-lane down on bot. And Magnus just getting that sound off with the reverse polarity, just to keep everyone on their toes. Frigolit has Skewer up, so he is playing aggressively right now, but he's not really out of position since he's got that by means of escape and can always just come over to the Ancients and then just skewer himself down onto the low ground. We've got a lot of heroes converging right now, but Mag being such a pest with that Diffusal Blade up, and Frigolit doesn't have the skewer anymore. Now he's in trouble. Now he's ensnared. Gonna get the lift up into the air, but that is one dead Rubik. So gets the steal off on the Necrolite, but pays dearly and probably should have held on to the skewer there. We've got a TP heading up towards top to try and deal with Plox, putting the push on. There's no more TP support coming in, however, so Magnus actually the one in trouble in the end. And worth noting that Darkseer does actually have his pipe finished as well. And that's another great thing about the Darkseer. He's a hero that can actually get mech and pipe and be effective and be a pest. And K is going to come in, but Ion Shell actually doing about as much damage to him as he's doing to Plox. And Cause comes as well, but 2v1 looks like the Darkseer's going to be fine. And he's always got pipe and mech in hand to keep himself alive. And Rio in trouble on mid. Mag's not done. Wicked 6 streak for him. And now I've got a Seer coming in. The reverse polarity threatened, but looks like Cause is just going to die anyway. The steal there from Rubik manages to grab himself a shockwave, but 2 on the mat right now. 2 dead right now for IN. I won't try and overuse catchphrases. And Illuminate again slowing things down at least a little bit, but as soon as the mech and the pipe come across for the Darkseer, they should be able to breach the high ground, but they are still pushing up into a reverse polarity. We do have Natural Knight now, and actually a Skullbasher picked up on Night Stalker. So again, weighing his options with the BKB and deciding that he doesn't really want to be 5v1 focused during the Song of the Siren. So just going for some more damage and just some fun, I suppose, as well with the Basher. Everybody loves building Basher deep down. K comes up top to try and slow down Phlox, but again, one hero versus the Darkseer, you are not in for a fun time. And K actually has a Yasha finished up right now, so it's just going to be a Manta style, the choice for him. The tier 2's tower, does fall down on bot. We've got the mech finished up for Rio. So that's a bit of a help as far as team fighting goes. And Magnus actually giving up on the Blink Dagger. Goes for a Bracer, so it looks like he might just be going for a Drum of Endurance. This is going to be difficult for him as far as initiation goes. But again, he's pretty far behind right now, and whatever meager farm they do get sort of needs to be on the Naga Siren and on the Necrolite, so he can't really be a primary farmer at the moment. OOT head straight into the Roshan pit. The Cuddle Blast going to be in over the top. Might be able to steal this one. No, it was actually killed by the Radiant, and Aegis now up on Mag as well. Yasha in hand, and Diffusal 1 could be Diffusal 2 fairly soon. There aren't any Ghost Scepters up on the side of IN, so there isn't really anything that he specifically needs to hold on to the Purge for, but he's getting close enough to his Manta style that he'd probably just look to maybe finish that one up before upgrading to Diffusal 2. And OOT pretty much ready to push up onto the high ground. They've got the pipe, they've got the mech, they've got the tools that they need to push up into Keeper of the Light. And as I say that, they eliminate, completely wiping out the creep wave there. And that is the pesky thing about pushing into the Coddle. But the late game isn't really there for IN, and OOT, they throw a ward up onto the high ground, but it's actually a little bit of bait, trying to get some cheesy vacuum initiations there. Or just trying to find vision to find cheesy vacuum initiations. But cheeky plays, cheeky plays all the same. Mag's going to make his way down towards bot. Actually, a naked Vit Booster picked up for him right now. So we might actually see perhaps a Heart of Tarrasque before that next big pickup. But he's just doing fantastically right now. I mean, the net worth really painting a pretty grim picture of the game right now. IN, I guess the one advantage for them is that they might see a bit of daylight at some point. Nightstalker isn't level 16 just yet, but he is putting a lot of bonus time towards this night right now. So there is going to be a window of opportunity for IN once that night wears off, but it's going to be a narrow one. And they need to get maybe another level of items up before they can really look to capitalize on that minor disadvantage that the Nightstalker is going to have. And during that time, Darkseer and PL are just going to continue to scale up. And PL just able to split push a little bit right now. Tier 2 up on top, going to be claimed by OOT. And to give you an idea of how scary it is to play on the Dire side right now, they've got nothing as far as vision goes. There's a gem picked up on Steph, so all they can see is where their creeps are and the outskirts of their base. And beyond that, there are Night Stalkers roaming around, there are Phantom Lancers, there are Darkseers, and all of that is absolutely terrifying. Frigolite actually going to be able to grab the Death Pulse here, because Keeper of the Light, well, he's actually got 4 points up in Illuminate now. It wasn't quite completely wiping at the creep waves before, and now the pipe is going to be charged as well. Our OOT just going to try and make it up onto the high ground, putting some damage down right now. But Mag is actually on mid, trying to deal with the Naga Siren push, and not actually doing a great job of it. So looks like the option for him is just going to be to intercept the creep wave. The tier 1 tower may fall to the remaining duration on these illusions. We'll have to keep a close eye on that. No, it looks like it might just end up in deny range because of them. So a little bit unlucky there for the Naga Siren. Yeah, 25 HP, that's really unlucky. That could have come down to damage rolls, frankly, but over that many attacks, it probably should have evened out. So right now, IN just trying to find that defensive team fight of the century, the defensive team fight that everybody's talking about. But Mag split pushing in on mid, and this is a big opportunity. Fluxbox already finds a kill on the Keeper of the Light. Cos comes in, but is immediately silenced. Not able to get their wrist platy off just yet. Being healed up, the Tombstone drops, and the Song of the Siren thrown in over the top by K, but didn't really catch anyone. Mag actually fighting his way into the base. He does still have that Aegis available. It's going to drop. Is Cos going to be able to get in position for a Skewer? It's actually on cooldown right now. Their wrist polarity is ready, however, and now OOT forced to fight up into the base. The wall goes down. Nice wall there from Floxplux, and said now the target just going to be right click down. The pipe pops up, and Undying does drop. Monster kill streak for the Phantom Lancer right now, and OOT find themselves in the middle of the Dire base, but frankly they just do not care. 2 already dead over on IN, and Nightstalker looking for more. He does actually have his Darkness on, off cooldown right now, so a little bit of absent-mindedness there, but he is actually in the middle of this fight, and K putting out some good damage, but now going to be purged. And Mag wants this kill. Nice blinding light away. The Illuminate charged as well. And he needs to be careful. He doesn't have that Aegis anymore. Now onto the melee barracks is OOT. Their reverse polarity still available, still held there by the Magnus. And Nightstalker comes back in, looking for Matori. There's an ensnare, but it's not enough to stop an angry Nightstalker. The vacuum back as well. And just a little bit of fountain camping happening. Well, fountain camping happening right now for OOT. They don't even have a barracks down just yet, so feeling pretty confident with the position that they're in this game. And just some lifesteal casually picked up there by the Nightstalker. We might see a Mask of Madness or something like that. We've got a silence going off on the Magnus. Darkness has finally been used. The Tombstone drops as well. Flox looking to man up on that one, but not really able to do so. But Mag comes in, makes very quick work of the Tombstone. Nice vacuum through. Flox actually caught there in the reverse polarity. Was that one stolen? Yes, it was. There's no mobility spells for the Rubik and a nice blinding light keeping everyone away. But Mag forcing everyone back into the fountain. The racks did drop up on top, and mid lane pushing in right now. Will OOT back off? They've got their reverse polarity to try and turn this one around. And Rio chasing out. Oh, it's actually going to get the 3% off. It does kill off the Night Stalker. Buyback immediately. Blink Dagger finished up for the Rubik. He wants that now so he can get that reverse polarity off. And that's going to be express delivered to him right now on the courier. So keep an eye on that one. I'll just keep an eye on the Rubik at the moment. Iron do manage to push out of their base, but it's just straight into the waiting arms of OOT. And they don't have reverse polarity, and OOT do. So this is a pretty bad situation for them, but valiant to the last, and probably just using this time as well to discuss tactics for next game. It's not over till it's over, but again, Iron's overall strategy relied on getting ahead early and staying ahead, and they haven't really done that. So it's looking pretty grim. We've got a Helmet Dominator finished up right now for Night Stalker, so not going to be a Mask of Madness for him, and looks like we may have, no, not a completed heart, but Mag getting pretty close, flying the Reaver out right now. The Illuminate continues to slow things down on mid, but Floxblox almost has his Pipe of Insight back off cooldown, so the push up onto the high ground should be fairly soon, and Frigolite again, stolen reverse polarity, Blink Dagger, so even easier for him than it is for the Magnus right now. Who doesn't quite have his blink just yet, and Mag looking to put some pressure in up on top. Rio makes his way up there, and OT, are they going to push in on mid? This is a problem. Keeper of Light doing his best to hold things off, and ping spam going out up towards top. Looks like Mag just wants to go for these kills. There's still a lot of nice open battleground for OT to try and take right now, and Frigolite still looking for that initiation at the moment. Still has a little while left with that reverse polarity. And the ping spam just going to go out on mid. OT want to take the organized fight. And Illusion is still just pushing up into the base. They would love to grab this tier 3. Coddle still doing a good job of holding them back, but OT making sure that everyone is hedged back inside the base. They don't know exactly where they are, and there's no going anywhere. And OT do not make it up onto the high grounds. The Illusion Swarm going full, now swinging back down towards the racks. The vacuum in. Is there going to be a wall? The reverse polarity thrown on nothing. Not sure what canceled that one, and now Cause getting into position for his own polarity. Now canceled. Huge polarity connect on 3. The Tombstone doing good work as well, and Night Stalker disconnects from the game. So we're going to have a pause in the middle of this team fight. Let's have a look. Frigolite's pretty much dead. He used his polarity, didn't connect on anything. Not sure what happened to his Blink Dagger. Didn't actually get it off. It was canceled by some source of damage. So that was a pretty bad setup for him. Coddle's got something going on here, and now Night Stalker does reconnect. Steph has a disruption up on someone right now. Mag's coming in from the rear to try and do as much damage as he possibly can. There is a... Okay, so Magnus is in the disruption. He's about to skewer his way across, and yeah, ready to go fight. 3, 2, 1, break, and now Frigolite already dead on the mat. Floxblox gonna be the target of the Reaper Scythe, will drop as well, but follow Rio in trouble. Night Stalker just manning up, the mech pops off, and the Illuminate over the top. Mag actually walked all the way back around, so he's now in trouble. The buyback from the Rubik. There is no more Song of the Siren to chase. Nice 4-stab anti-E from Steph. The skewer not actually gonna find him. Perfect timing there. And Frigolite comes in. What's he got? What's he blinked away with? He actually managed to grab a rank 40k, so nice little pickup there for the Rubik. Ian, great team part for them, managing to hold on, but unfortunately Magnus going to be spotted out by the PL. He's going to have a nuke in just a second, doppel-walking his way through as well. And now just going for the Undying. I guess a valiant sacrifice there. The Undying managed to keep the Magnus alive, but that's about it. And now a godlike streak for our Phantom Lancer, who's going to have his heart up fairly soon, so doesn't even need to really go back to base, and he's going to have that flying out in just a second. So Ian still holding on, but reverse polarity going to be on cooldown for about 50 seconds. Darkseer and Night Stalker still dead for now. So, well, still dead for now, but as soon as they respawn, this should be a fairly good window of opportunity for OOT. Roshan will be up in about a minute, so they could wait around for that one as well, though that would push us over into Natural Day, which is not a time that Night Stalker, again, wants to be in. So I am doing a really good job of holding off until this daytime, and it's not over until it's over. It did actually tick over into day as the darkness popped there. So Night Stalker doesn't have a huge window right now. Looks like they might just push straight up mid. Reverse polarity is going to be available. The Song of the Siren cooling down as well, and OOT might just go straight up with the next wave. There's a Shiva's Guard finished up on the Darks here, level 17 as well, so he's got that rank 3 wall. And Mag just putting the split pressure on up on top, fairly low on mana, however, looking for the initiation with the Doppel Walk. So OOT, can they make it up onto the high ground? The Keeper of Light still being a pest as best he can, but his attention actually turned towards top right now. So OOT pipe pops on mid, they're going to head straight up onto the high ground, try and claim this tier 3, and there isn't going to be an eliminate, at least for a little bit. The Song of the Siren in over the top, and there's 3 heroes waiting here for the reverse polarity, but so is Rubik, and he's going to try and grab it. He grabs it, comes in, 4-man reverse polarity, great play by the Rubik, the vacuum in over the top as well. This is a huge win for Ion. The wall as well, Kaz gets the skewer out, but immediately lifted, and what a play by OOT. Nicely played by the Rubik. The GG well played is going to be called. That's not it for this grand final just yet. We've still got the second game of this best of 3 set, but nicely played by OOT, and pretty convincing if I do say so myself. So we're going to have the next game probably hosted up extremely quickly, and then we're going to be underway with the rest of this grand final. Again, this is the Adroit's TT Esports Dota 2 Weekly. This is our first week of this weekly tournament. As always, I've been Baseskip bringing you guys this game. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Remember to support the tournament. So follow Adroits on Adroits TV on Twitch. Subscribe to Adroits TV on YouTube, and follow Adroits tweets on Twitter as well. If you'd like to support me, then you could send me some constructive feedback at my email. It's baskipdota@gmail.com. But anyway, I've been Baseskip. This was a game from the tournament that I just mentioned. This is, again, the game 1 of our best of 3 series for the grand final. So hope to see you for the next game, and hope to see you in future broadcasts as well.